Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, beautiful. Welcome everyone. Good evening. Thanks so much for coming tonight to, where are we exactly? In Kingston tonight. And yeah, so we are very happy to be here. Green Clean is who we are. And I'm here, my name is Sabine and this is Brad. Brad's the founder of Green Clean. Green Clean was started about 3 years ago, and Brad will tell us a little bit about that and why Green Clean started and what the mission is here. And yeah, we got a couple of videos for you and we want to make it a little bit interactive, punchy, so not a boring just talking for an hour. So we got a lot of photos to show you and about the work that we've been doing with nature. And yeah, let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, thank you, Jess, for organising this. So yeah, I'm Brad from Green Clean, and we set up Nature Harmony stations for about 2.5 to 3 years now. And in the background we've got a picture of Uluru area. Look how green that looks. We're going to talk about a bit of the weather work that we did there some time ago. But I want to start off with the water cleaning aspect of what we do. Originally we started setting up the orgone harmonisers over here. That right there is a cloud generator, and that works with orgone energy, which is life force energy. Wilhelm Reich discovered orgone energy, and we were setting these up to bring more rain and harmonising the weather, definitely harmonising the geoengineering and getting rid of the stagnation which is caused by artificial weather making. And then it moved into water activation, cleaning up of water. Originally we were putting these glass balls in that are installed with a frequency to pulsate in the water to structure the water. And when you've got a healthy resonance body of water, it can connect with the rest of the natural weather, such as the formation of clouds. In some cases this cleans up the water, but these days we're doing something far more powerful than that. So I'm just going to show what we're doing here. Now here we have a superstructured water unit, something like this, and it's connected to this pump, and the pump circulates the water through the tank, and every time it passes through the tank, it gets more structured. So the water ends up being superstructured, and then we give that water to this polluted water under the M1 highway up there near Queensland. You can see all the oil and crap on the water, and I just treated it with structured water. And you'll see in a second what happens. This is another creek on the same street. Once again, all the stagnation in the water. And you'll see what happens when you treat the water with structured water. So we're only using water to treat water, but it's the energy of the water. It's living water, and it's very energetic. It's got a very high bioenergy photon field. So there I am putting the water into the creek, and shortly you're going to see the results. So yeah, we've been doing this work only with the water cleaning and the superstructured water for about 2 months only. We were, other than that, working with the harmonisers and the balls prior to that. But yeah, these are the results we're getting now. Look at how clear that water is. You can actually see the bottom. I would swim in that. Now, what structured water is on a scientific level is it's a perfect cluster of molecules in a hexagonal form. So it's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. And when the perfect molecule of structured water comes in contact with another droplet of water, it makes it perfect. So it basically reacts to the rest of the water and goes through its own cleaning processes. So we're just working with nature to clean the water. Now, can you show the other one? This other video is the back to the bridge again. Yeah. I just want to show what happened here with the results. So yeah, once again, the dirty water under the bridge, and you're going to see what happens 1 week later after treatment. So I'll put Sabine on now to do a bit more talking.
Yeah, very good. So while we're watching this, just also to explain how everything we do is about harmonizing, helping nature to tap into its own blueprint that nature knows. And so with our harmony stations, for example, when we set them up, they're also going to a bucket with water. And yeah, so what we can see here after putting structured water into the water body, there was even just within about a week, was it?
Yeah, less than a week.
Less than a week. A lot clearer and also more movement. And also when we think about nature, in nature everything always moves, there is no stagnation, and animals are drawn to a water body where they drink from, and so we can imagine that nature, we all need that energy, that life force energy. And so what we do at Green Clean using structured water and with the harmony stations, because the harmony stations, they create a torus field of about 5 kilometers. And so it creates that energetic life force field that radiates or that accumulates orgone energy. And which means that, so nature remembers, nature knows that energy and dissolves any stagnation, and also so it affects the waters positively. There's more energy, more oxygenation in the water, then fish populations are coming back, the soil gets more replenished. So everything that we do, we're working with the sky, the air, cleaning up weather conditions, and we all know there's a lot of weather manipulation happening. And so it's really, it's as above, so below, all that energy. It's like a spiraling effect and an expansive energy. And initially we showed a photo of Uluru where Brad, some years ago with our other partner Russell, they went to Uluru to do some bit of weather work there, and you had an invitation there to come along and set up a harmony station.
Yeah, so here in the picture we have the ranger of the park there at Uluru, and he lived in the community just there, and we installed a Nature Harmony Station 2.0, so that green one there, and an orgone beam, and that does a field of about 50 kilometres. So it's a torus field energy, nature's own energy. So we're putting more of nature's own energy back into the area. And basically I was there for the Cosmic Consciousness Conference, and I was speaking there, and over the days that I was there I started to observe more clouds. And then after the event I went back to Sydney, and I got a call from the organiser, and she said, can you turn this thing off because it started to rain so much they couldn't actually fly out of there. So since then we activated the little bit of water that was there with permission from that fella there, and then we put some balls in a little bit of water that was there which pulsed the frequency into the water. We set up the harmonizer, and then a little bit later, these days, check out Uluru and how green it is now. So it's never been like that as far as we've seen. So there's a lot more greenery and a lot more water there. And another story is Norfolk Island. When I was at the Cosmic Consciousness Conference, they flew me over to Norfolk Island to set up 3 of these harmonizers with the orgone beams. Once again, I activated the water, the balls, and some blocks for the ocean, so the whole island's water was activated. The harmony stations were set up, and it started to sprinkle. And the Indigenous guy there, he said, mate, that's not enough rain. I said, look, just give it a bit of time. It's only just happened. And he goes, mate, if it doesn't rain, I'm going to look like a bloody idiot. And I said, look, just give it a little bit of time. So I went home, and then next 3 days he called me up and he said, mate, it's raining and I don't look like an idiot. And I was on the radio there with him, and it was a big deal. The whole island was talking about it. 9 months later he checked in, they're completely out of drought because they were in a 9-month drought. They're actually advertising in the paper and the radio that they were going to start importing water from Australia to Norfolk Island. So now all the water's back again, and the locals are saying, can you turn these stations off? But the farmers are saying keep it going because they need the rain. So we're not manipulating in any way, it's just giving more energy into nature so nature can do its thing. So you will get more blue skies, more rain, more natural weather, more balanced weather.
And yeah, I also wanted to say that we are not about manipulating anything or trying to play something greater outside of us to say, oh yeah, we want rain and let's do it. It's really the harmony stations and everything, it tunes into nature's rhythm. And wherever there is stagnation, it addresses that, it dissolves it, and it helps nature to regulate. So there is also, we don't switch them off or on. There is certain things one can do to, for example, if there's an area that's in drought, you can put sugar water on top of the harmony station. Sorry?
For more clouds.
For more clouds, sugar water, or you put, if there's too much rain, alcohol on top. So it's always interesting. So Brad initially started with Urs Wirtz is his name. He's from Germany, and he started building those harmony stations in 2016. In Europe and all over the world, there are now about 15,000 harmony stations. In Australia, about, about 250, 300?
Yeah.
And there's also, we have certain Telegram groups, and it's often when there is weather events, then people that have harmony stations, they all, or a lot of them get together and say, okay, let us all put some alcohol on top if there's too much rain, or if we need rain, they put some sugar water on top. And it often, so the more people come together and join that torus field, the better. But it's definitely nothing to do with any manipulation of any kind.
So a big part of this is working with intention, of course. These devices are just amplifiers of our intention. So we're often paying our respects to the earth, to nature spirits, and working with our intention for the highest good of nature. And that to me is having a clear creation of what you want to put out there in terms of helping the environment and helping the earth is what's making these really work. So I'm going to flick through some slides and talk a little bit more. Here's some before and afters. So before installation on the day, a couple of months after. This is Norfolk Island before, as you can see, really dry, and then a couple of months after, green. So there's heaps more before and afters on the Telegram group, and this is a little bit about orgone energy. So orgone energy is cosmic life energy. It's a primordial life force energy, which means that that energy essentially was the creation of everything. It was there prior to everything else. And then I'm going to talk about, so you get more balanced rain, less flooding in the areas with the harmony stations. It's like a mitigation of flooding. Since we've had them up in the northern rivers, which is a flood-prone area, there hasn't been any flooding yet. And it's been about 2.5 years, so it's an area that normally gets a lot of floods. It hasn't properly flooded. There's been a lot of rain, yes, but it's more balanced and it moves along rather than like what happens in Melbourne is the cloud cover gets stuck, kind of doesn't go away. And I'm actually going to show a video of what happened when we arrived yesterday in Melbourne. We just simply serviced and re-harmonised this harmony station in Doncaster, and when we arrived it was all grey, typical Melbourne weather, cloudy, and we just gave it a clean out and we used the Agnihotra. And here's a little testimony from her.
But then we come back today to clean it and reactivate it with our intention in Agnihotra. And what was the weather like before we did it? Completely grey and like just typical Melbourne weather, yeah? And then what, 20 minutes later, Yeah, the wind. Yep. Yeah, because I said the wind would move everything away, didn't I? Yep. And now we got the sunshine again. So that's just a little example of what happens when you clean the harmony station or activate a harmony station. You can get the blue sky back again when it gets stuck, just moving along with stagnation. Thanks, Helen.
Yeah, and also it's often what happens when we arrive somewhere, and also the same arrival in Melbourne. As soon as we arrived, we also, yeah, everything was loosening up a bit more, and sun coming through. And as you've seen in the video with the harmony station, so they go into a bucket of water, and so it sits in the water, and there's also a copper wire in it that goes into the ground. And also, yeah, what we love about the harmony stations, because they work like a tree. So it's the principle of a tree. It's connected with the roots into the earth. So it brings all the elements into balance. So we have the earth element, we have the water, the copper, we have the ether, which is the torus field. And then, as Brad mentioned, Agnihotra, which maybe some of you have heard of, the Ayurvedic rituals, fire spirit. I'll probably let you talk a little bit about Agnihotra, because yeah, Brad introduced me to Agnihotra. We do it a lot at home on either sunset or sunrise, and it's beautifully harmonizing.
Yeah, Agnihotra is a meditation on sunrise or sunset. It's actually an Indian Ayurvedic thing, but if you do it properly with the inverted copper pyramid and the ghee and the cow poo and the rice and the offering, you basically encapsulate the pranic energy of the sun into the ash, and that ash is used to make up these harmony stations along with the other materials of minerals, inorganic and organic materials, which basically on a scientific level accumulate the energy. So the energy gets trapped between the layers, builds up, goes into the center of the pipe and starts spiraling, and that's where you get the torus field. Here I'm going to show a map of the harmony stations in Australia so far and New Zealand. So in these areas here, you get a lot, obviously, more harmonious weather. You either get a lot more blue sky or more natural rain. In other areas, you know, on the way to Melbourne, for instance, you might see that more hazy sky, that sort of chemtraily sky, or just weather that isn't looking so harmonious. So the more of these in the area, the more flow you've got, the more nature's energy that you have.
And also these harmony stations and everything, orgone, it helps balance the ley lines as well. And I feel also the times we're living in, there's a strong shift in the whole terraforming and how the earth is changing and how we humans are changing and awakening and yeah, a greater abundance that wants to come through. And I feel, yeah, everything in nature works together. And the beauty is also that the harmony station, so it's not just for nature, it's also for us human beings, that there, yeah, it's greater harmony within and without of us, outside of us as well.
Yeah, when I started doing this work, we set up a harmony station up near Nimbin, at a place called Blue Knob Mountain, and I installed it and I paid my respects and do a bit of an honouring and intention, and then I said to the lady, "Oh, it's a very special mountain," and she said, "Yeah, that's actually a lava tube, it's a portal, and where you put the other harmony station the other day for someone else, that's where the lava tube finishes, so you've actually put one on each spot." And I got sort of energy flowing all the way through me, and I realised that I wasn't just setting these up for the chemtrails or for the weather, it was a lot to do with creating new energy grids on the earth, as above, so below. And later on down the track, I'd met people that told me that we're essentially creating new grid network for the new earth.
What are we looking at now?
So the workshops?
Yeah. So we also run workshops. So we built those harmony stations in the northern rivers in northern New South Wales. We got a nice workshop set up there. But also we also do kits as well to send out, and people, usually 2 people get together and build a harmony station together. And we run workshops. So we love running workshops, whatever, from 10 people come together and we build with them. And it's also a lot about the building is intention setting. It's a beautiful ritual. It's always great fun, and yeah, as Brad said, we use the organic materials: sheep's wool, steel wool. We have certain minerals, a special activated mineral mix. Then the agnihotra ash plays a big role, and also another thing that goes onto the harmony stations is a so-called universal chip. It's a copper chip that goes onto the steel rod as the first layer, and that protects from EMF, and it's like putting a layer over any kind of negative radiation or manipulation in that sense. And we got a workshop coming up on the 28th of June up there, and always good fun.
Where?
That's in Bowenville, but we're trying to rustle another one up. We're trying to make one happen in Melbourne. We have done one in Melbourne before, and then there was meant to be one in Gippsland, but it kind of didn't happen. But there's probably only been about 4 or 5 workshops in Australia so far, because we're trying to get the orgone energy out there, the structured water out there, but we have to rely on people purchasing them to put them in the ground. Where we really want to head with this is to be able to go into nature, set these things up on private land or in the bush with permission, to really do the work for nature and not have to rely on people purchasing them to fund our mission. And the same as the water, if we had some sort of permission to clean the water, at the moment we do have a blessing from a guy called Gubble up there in the Northern Rivers where we're working. But even having said that, I get Good Samaritans coming up to me when I was cleaning the water saying, "What are you doing?" and telling me off, and I'm only there trying to help the water. But there's always people that kind of stop you from doing good things, and if we had some sort of permission and funding to go out there and do it, we would do it all for free, and we wouldn't have to worry about people purchasing these things. So I want to get into the microbes. So we've mentioned what we do for the weather, clearing the space in the sky, removing the stagnation, dissipating the chemtrails, and we mentioned the water, but the one thing that was missing was the soil. And what's happened to the soil is all the particles that they're dropping out of those planes, they're locking up the minerals in the soil. So a lot of people have had troubles with their trees, their plants. Also glyphosate, the poison, that's also buggering up the soil. And there's a big issue with the soil. So we teamed up with Bronwyn from Earth Food, and she's got this amazing product which works well on its own, right? But we use it with the superstructured water, so it happens much quicker and it's much more powerful because the water increases the bioavailability in these microbes. So we're treating the soil. We can bring trees back to life. Currently we're treating the pandanus tree. So the pandanus tree is pretty much the iconic palm tree in the north coast of New South Wales and also Queensland. And that tree has a bug infestation that we're treating with the microbes and the structured water. It's a long process, but once again we would like to save some trees as well.
And so with the microbes, what we do, we add them to structured water, and you only need a little bit, and we treat plants about once a week only. And you either you spray the foliage, the leaves, as well as the soil, and then it's the leaves absorb the nutrients, the microbes, which also the ancient microbes, when we think about it, they've been here before us. So there's really, again, there is this recognition of the soil, of the earth, and I find, so everything we do, it is similar. There is nature recognizes orgone energy, structured water recognizes its original primordial blueprint. And the same with the microbes. There is a recognition of the blueprint. The microbes get absorbed through the leaves, taken down into the soil, strengthen the soil. The soil is able to absorb nutrients and salts again. The earth is a lot more fluffy, and it's really the gut biome of the plant gets strengthened, as well as, of course, when we eat our own veggies grown out of a beautiful, nutritious soil again, then our own gut biome benefits. And so it's a beautiful harmony with structured water and the microbes. And so we will bring it all together in many ways. Please, yes.
So is there, with the structured water that you, I don't know the right word to use, provide, bring about,
work with.
Can we do that in our own like homes in suburbia rather than out in the fields in the regional areas?
We've got these structured water units that people install in their homes, and all I've done on the truck there is created a recirculating system, so every time it passes through, the energy gets higher. But just using one of these in the garden, you'll get about 30% more growth, because there's more oxygen, more hydrogen, and it makes the plant, the soil food work much better.
And would that affect the water that actually comes out of the taps as well?
You can literally drink it, because on a scientific level, structured water, it surrounds a toxin with molecules. So the fluoride, for instance, would be in the middle, and then the rest of the molecules would arrange themselves around the toxin. So when you drink it, it just passes through your body, it doesn't absorb into your system.
Wow.
So you don't actually have to filter.
Right.
The only reason you would filter is if you had organic matter in the water.
Right.
So basically inside here is a series of perfect spin fields and vortices on the perfect dimensions that create the spin.
And what do you attach this to?
Just to your water line.
So, like when you say the water line.
So you could touch it to your shower, to your sink, to your whole the main inlet to your house.
So you don't need different ones on all your different
No, so
sink,
this one is for the sink or under the house or for a small house.
Right.
The bigger one that we have is for the whole house, which means your garden and everything. Yeah.
And how much is something like that?
So these sink/shower ones are 800 and the whole house ones are 1800.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're a lot cheaper than those grander ones and stuff like that.
But also don't necessarily, from having looked at it,
Yeah.
they're all a bit different. They don't all necessarily filter.
They don't necessarily structure it to this degree, no.
They don't structure.
No, they filter, yeah. So anyway, just to sum it all up, we're all about setting nature back to its original blueprint, working with nature's own energy, and harmonising the environment. And our intention's to clear more of the stagnation, more of the chemtrails, clean up bodies of water in nature, get more harmony on people's properties, help the garden, help the trees, help the humans. We've also got products for the human body, healing of the body. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll let Sabine send it off.
I don't know how I'm going to send it off, but with a beat something. Just thinking about structured water. When we think about it, because we are born, every baby, we're born with structured water inside of us. And because of a lot of pollutants, toxins, fluoride, all the crap that we are exposed to, we get more dehydrated, we age quicker. We can see that it's really necessary, and we are told, of course, you got to drink more water, but it's what water are we actually drinking, and is our body, is there a bioavailability even for the water we are bringing into our system. So with structured water, the water molecules, our body, our own, and Victor Schauberger called structured water like the lifeblood of the earth and of everything. And so our body recognizes those molecules, and we are better hydrated that way, and it oxygenates the blood and the waters inside of us. So we're actually really getting hydrated with structured water, and not just drinking dead water, liters of it. So it also feels a lot softer when it comes through the vortex. And but yeah, I think you framed it all up nicely, and yeah, it's harmony within and without, and yeah, we got it all within, and it's just, I feel, enhancing our superpowers that we have as human beings. And yeah, and we're all here to help nature and humanity, and yeah. Anything else?
No, that's about it. Thanks for listening, everyone. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.